everyone, and welcome along to Sao Paulo, Brazil, the biggest city in South America, for round number 6 of the Veloce Esports Squad Sprint. I'm Ginger Andy, and once again joining me in the commentary box we've got George Morgan. And George, I hear this is one of your favourite tracks, is it?
Oh, it certainly is, Andy. One of my personal favourites. I do love some of these corners. There's so many variables at this track. And once again, we're hit with the fixed setups, one-stop mandatory and a soft tyre mandatory as well. Here at this illustrious circuit of Interlagos, I have to say, could not wait for it from the Senna S's into the Rita Imposta, all the way round to Junchao, heading down the home stretch. This is an instant classic.
Absolutely. George, clearly a man revising the corner names of this wonderful racetrack as we get ready to have a look at the starting grid. On pole position is Ryan Devetia. On second position we've got Louis Deletraz for All Stars. Third is Jarno Opmeer, he's out of position, with Niran Yusufu in fourth. Arif Amin starts from fifth, and Steve Brown is sixth for Team Quadrant. Then is the Veloci team with Maxime Byman, Hayden Gullis and Tom Martinez in ninth. Rounding out the top 10 is James Doherty.
Absolutely, followed up by Dani Bereznay, P11, Simon Weigang for Alfa Romeo as well, P12, Andrea Kaposha in P13, with Jaroslav Honzik, P14, Eamon Murphy makes up P15. That grid spot is meant for Ben Daly, who's in starting from the pit lane, Emily Jones, P16, James Baldwin, P17, as well as Danny Moreno, P18, and also Bono Huis, P19.
Let's have a look at the team news then. Dani Bereznay is back in at Alfa Romeo. We've got Danny Moreno back in at Mercedes. Maxime Byman is in for Ben McConnell. And interestingly, Ryan Devetia is in for Thibaut Courtois, who on the night of recording was playing for Real Madrid against Real Sociedad. Who'd be a footballer, eh, George?
Absolutely, I have to say. True professional Thibaut Courtois, but shame not to see him tonight for the squad sprint here in race 6, but I'm sure he is certainly living the dream up there with Real Madrid.
Yeah, well, one each straw, in case anyone's wondering. But we're all set for the start of round number 6 in the squad sprint. Mine is Thibaut Courtois. This should be a cracker. It's Ryan Devetia starting from pole position as we get ready for the 5 red lights to go out, and round number 6 of the season is underway here at Interlagos. It's a good start from Ryan Devetia on the run down to turn 1. He's got Louis Deletraz challenging into that first corner as they make their way down into the Senna S, and look at that, that's Arif getting ahead of the Jarno Opmeer, who started out of position. So Arif has passed the F1 Esports World Champion. Unbelievable start from Arif, the content creator, off to a flyer as they make their way down the straight, and that in the background is his teammate Niran facing the wrong way down the Retro Posta, as Arif, having passed Jarno Opmeer, is under a lot of pressure at the start of the race as they go heading up the hill on this opening lap, George.
Yeah, Jarno Opmeer is going to be absolutely ruined the day. The Aravers passed him. They're heading around Decidia Delaga, but as they make their way around the next right-hander, the 2 All-Star cars, we now see, oh my word, Steve Brown coming off the track there, and that causes certainly a huge catalyst of a collision there, with Jarno Opmeer taking out Hayden Gullis' Araver, dives in on the inside there through Louis Deletraz. Sensational, he's on fire, he's eating his Weetabix. Araver here on a flyer. Surely there's someone not driving that, but someone else driving that quadrant car, Andy.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable start from Arif as we have a look further down the field. That is Deletraz going backwards. Bereznay now has got past him. James Doherty, and now Bereznay on the attack. But here comes Deletraz straight back through at the start of this lap, at the end of this lap, and on to lap 2 now. And it's now Deletraz back up into 4th. We've got Bereznay in 5th. Bereznay trying to go round the outside of Louis Deletraz, but he can't do that. And oh, we got another car off. That was Maxime Byman going backwards and spinning round down at the Senna S. But we're on watching Dani Bereznay now going down the Retro Posta, pulling alongside into Decidia Delago. Is he going to go down the inside and through? Yes, he is, but ahead of Louis Deletraz, who is going backwards. But the big story here is Arif, who's had a brilliant start to this race, and that was Tom Martinez going off as well. A disaster for the Veloci team, all of them in the wars early doors. And look at this up the inside, that's James Baldwin going on the attack on Moreno. Can he get it done? On the inside now, that's going to be so close. Moreno forced wide, James Baldwin trying to go the long way round. Can he sweep right round the outside? Of course he can. He's the world's fastest gamer at the end of the day, and that's a beautiful move to go through and up into 9th place, George.
Yeah, they just ran in Bico to Pato now, making their way up towards Junchao up that climb, and there's Araver yet again. Surely he's not going to get another one as he now moves up on Ryan Devetia as they head around the Arquibancadas, and as they do so, you can now see the quadrant car taking the outside line, moves into the slipstream of Ryan Vettia, heading into the center S's. He's only gone and done it. Arava up into P1. Absolutely superb. James Doherty moving up into P3. Bereznay, his teammate, joining the party. But the story here goes, in lap 3 of 21, Arava is on P1 here, Andy.
Stop the count! Stop the count! This is unbelievable! Arif leads in squad sprint and we're on lap 3. And not only does he lead, he's actually overtaken cars. He's overtaken a real life driver. 2 in fact, and he's overtaken the F1 Esports World Champion. What's going on? As wide there goes Ryan Vettia, and through up the inside goes James Doherty. They bang wheels, and James now going side by side on the way up the hill. What a start to this race! And Arif, while these guys battle over second, will be pulling away out front. This is absolutely insane. But James Doherty is now through and up into second place. It's Bereznay third with Vettia in fourth, and he's now under pressure from Eamon Murphy, the Irishman, on the attack. And it seems like the All-Star team are going backwards. Look at this, a real train of cars going up the hill and heading across the start-finish line. Vettia, Murphy and Deletraz. We're going to go 3 wide down the start-finish line. Murphy in the middle, either side of him the 2 All-Stars. Look at this, up the inside goes Vettia, but Murphy sweeps through. He's up into 4th, and it's all sorts of action in there. As Simon Weigang now barges his way alongside Vettia and drops him backwards. Through goes Squeeze, through goes Baldwin, and down to 8th and 9th now for the All-Stars. Goodness me, George, I'm out of breath.
Yo, I gotta say now, they're running alongside each other. Deletraz, they're making a move on his teammate as they make their way through. Ryan Vettia has to forfeit the position. He's been, oh my word! A collision on the outset of Interlagos, and that's opened the door for Dani Moreno, who is actually returning here for Mercedes here this week. And I have to say, absolutely, I cannot get over this. All-Star not getting a very good start in this race already, but look at James Doherty here, TR Limitless, here in lap 4 of 21. He is now beginning to ride up along the rear end of Arava now as they make their way up towards Junchao, and in behind as well, look who's coming to join as well, last year's squad sprint champion Dani Bereznay, as James Doherty fights him for the lead. That turn of foot out of Junchao certainly did the business for him. Here comes Dani Bereznay coming in to join the fun, once again 3 wide, heading towards the center S's as they do so at the start of lap 5. Bereznay goes in deep, still 3 wide, and Arava sends off. James Doherty goes for a spin. Arava stays on, but now you can see Bereznay leads. Last year's champion front. In comes Eamon Murphy, followed by Bono Huis. This is absolutely mental, Andy.
This is getting up to the levels of Turkey already. This is absolutely wild. Oh, and there's another one round. Who's that? That's Arif. Oh no, what a shame for him. He started the race so well. Now he's facing the wrong way and down to 7th. Absolute mayhem here in the squad sprint. Chaos, which is a word we often use in this series, and we're using it again as we keep an eye on Eamon Murphy here, who's now running second. Dani Bereznay now inherits the lead of this wild race with about 5 different leaders in 5 laps. Wild stuff. We're on board now from the rear wing of Moreno as he looks back at James Baldwin, the championship leader who's won 3 of the opening 5 races. He's currently in 6th, and he's got his work cut out if he wants to win this one, because there are some very fast drivers in front. But here comes Baldwin, ready to pick one off immediately as they swoop down the hill to begin lap number 6 of this race. The laps are ticking by so quickly here. We've had so much fun already. And through goes James Baldwin, up and ahead of Dani Moreno and into 5th position. What a race this is.
Yeah, I gotta say, championship contender James Baldwin having a very good start to this race. Hayden Gullis nearly losing it out of the center S's, but manages to recover and has actually lined himself a possible move here on Ryan Vettia, who is also trying to make a move on Arif, and certainly trying to get redemption after what happened in the earlier few laps. Arif are in trouble. Ryan Vettia just sort of leaves his foot off the throttle slightly, just tries to coax it round, but manages to go wheel to wheel with Arif now heading around down the stretch, leading towards the Ferragura, and as they do so, in behind the Veloce car, just stalking its prey. But indeed, Ryan Vettia gets the better of Arif this time, and here comes Gullis down the inside as well. Tremendous scenes here as they once again go wheel to wheel. Quadrant v Veloce. Who's going to get on top? Arava holds him off. In comes Moreno. As we get Opmeer, should I say. Opmeer coming round now as they exit that right-hander. Opmeer goes past Hayden Gullis. In comes now Jaroslav Honzik, who's on the rear wing now of Hayden Gullis, heading up to Junchao. Lovely move down the inside there from Jaroslav Honzik. Yardier strikes again. Opmeer goes ahead of Arava. That's all she wrote for this lap, folks.
This is absolutely wild. We're getting overtakes in every single corner and every single part of the track. We've got a quadrant car peeling into the pits. Once again, we've got all sorts of slipstreaming going on into turn one. And once again, we're 3 wide. Up the inside goes one of the quadrants. That's Steve Brown on the attack, but he's unable to make any ground at all. Hayden Gullis, he was in the thick of the action there in the Veloce car. While he's trying to make a move, he's being overtaken. It's absolutely nuts here in the squad sprint on lap 7 out of 21. We're at 1/3 race distance, and that's a big slide for Hayden Gullis, but he gathers it together just in time before he goes flying off the track. But now he's under real pressure. Steve Brown giving him a little nudge from the rear as they go up the hill into the sweeping right-hander of turns 5 and 6. But in the end, it looks like Hayden Gullis will cling on for now, but the rear end really slidey on that Veloce car, it has to be said. And Steve Brown really is mounting the pressure on that Veloce driver and almost pushing him around the corners. He's saying to Hayden, come on, get a move on, but he's too busy on the attack. Look at the slingshot there from Brown coming out of the corner. I thought he was going to get attacked from James Doherty, but he gets an incredible slingshot out the corner, and at the bottom of the hill he's going to get the move done, and through he goes, and James Doherty follows through as well. The Sharks are circling behind Hayden Gullis, and 2 fly past him in one go. But now he's going to pick up the double toe down the straight, and we're going to go 3 wide yet again into turn 1. Hayden Gullis through the middle then. Can he try and work it out? No, round goes Doherty into a spin. This race is wild here, and Doherty's round and Gullis climbs up to 10th, George. Wow.
Oh, they're going absolutely batty here at Brazil. It's absolutely tremendous. 3 wide down to the centre S's. We've seen it done already a few times in this race, but I have to say, it's not advised, I would have to say. It gets very tight there heading into turn 1. But there's Dani Bereznay, your leader, by a second approximately, all the way back to Bono Huis in P2. Eamon Murphy, who is driving a spectacular race here for the Yas Heat team, currently down in P3. Baldwin has moved himself right up the leaderboard. He's up into P4, of course, a World Championship contender for this season, that's for sure, and he's driving absolutely superbly yet again. And there you can see Danny Moreno's rear wing as they exit Junchao. You can see the Yas Heat in behind in there. The McLaren shadow car of James Baldwin looking to add insult to injury here upon this classification, yet to rise up again into the podium spots once again. And here he comes, the McLaren shadow laying down a shadow upon Yas Heat as we're now witnessing James Baldwin into turn 1 of the centre S's. Smoothly does it, he says. Up once again another place. P3 for the world's fastest gamer.
Oh, lovely move there from James Baldwin. Through he goes on Eamon Murphy, and he is now beginning to challenge for a potential victory here as we shuffle back to Danny Moreno, trying to go round the outside of Simon Weigang. He'll try and cut back underneath, but Weigang's got that one covered, but he's still got the momentum, he's still got that straight line speed to try and pull alongside. Round the outside he's going to try. Oh, that would have been brave, that would have been brilliant, but there's no way Simon Weigang, an F1 Esports driver himself, was going to allow that manoeuvre there from Moreno. It was a good effort, but it wasn't quite a move that was ever going to come off for Danny Moreno, and Weigang holds on to that 5th position as they make their way through the infield section around this short but classic Sao Paulo circuit here in Interlagos. It really is a cracker, and it's providing some awesome action so far. We're 9 laps into this and it has flown by. I hope you're all enjoying it at home, because it has been sensational so far as Moreno heads across the start finish line and he's lining up Weigang, but I don't think, George, he's going to be close enough on this occasion.
No, and they've still got 11 laps remaining here, folks. Still a lot to play for. Bear in mind, we've seen lots of action already in the first 10, so do expect more as we head deep into this Brazilian race. As you can now see, there's Moreno heading down the stretch now at Reta Reposta. In front of him, you can see there's Simon Weigang. They're about to hail now into Decidia del Lago, and you can't count out the machine. Dani Moreno, the Spaniard, has been absolutely sensational in esports and racing in the past, and once again, he's here in SquadSprint, moving his way up the field. He's got his teammate Jarno Opmeer Opmeer. In behind, of course, the Flying Dutchman, but ahead of him there, Simon Weigang. They're in the Alfa Romeo car, just round in the next right-hander now, round towards the next left. Very shortly, they'll be making the climb up towards the next right-hander. This, of course, being Bico Tapato before they reach the Meharulo, and there you can now see them just in tandem. Moreno getting closer all the time, just rubs onto the grass slightly though, which is not ideal as they head around this next left before they reach Junshire. Runs wide there, and that opens the door potentially for Jarno Opmeer in the closing stages of this lap, as we're now witnessing them hightailing around the left-hander. This is Bono Huis this time, who we're currently watching on our cameras. He's now chasing at this moment in time Dani Bereznay as they come into turn 1 at the centre S. Is still no opening for Bono Huis, but you have to admire him. These two have gunned upon each other before, and I'm sure we'll see it again.
Yeah, Bono Huis is absolutely flying at the minute. He's got the bit between his teeth. They've got James Baldwin shadowing them as well, and we know how quick he is on this Assetto Corsa game. He's very, very quick indeed, and he is going to be challenging them very quickly. So let's see if Bono Huis can get a move done on Dani Bereznay anytime soon as they go into that middle part of the track where it's difficult to overtake. But going with what I've seen so far, I think these drivers are quite happy to go for a move anywhere on the road, and Huis is very, very strong at the minute behind Dani Bereznay, but Baldwin is now there, and any thoughts that this would be a two-way fight is quickly turned away and became a three-way fight. We've got an Alfa Romeo, we've got a Mercedes, we've got a McLaren, all in the battle for the victory of this race. Eamon Murphy dropping off these three a little bit at the minute. It's looking like a three-way fight, but here comes Bono Huis at the top of the hill. He's lining up Dani Bereznay. He's looking left, he's looking right. Bereznay's in trouble here. Here comes Huis. He's down the inside. He's tight to the pit wall, but he's surely going to out-drag that Alfa Romeo car and take the lead away. And on lap 12 out of 21, it's Bono Huis who takes the lead of this Brazilian Grand Prix here in SquadSprint ahead of Dani Bereznay. But Bereznay looks like he's fighting back.
Yeah, I've got to say, Bono Huis looked a little bit tail snappy there, heading out of the centre S's, and here comes Bereznay fighting back at Bono Huis. Maybe tries to switch back heading into Retro Poster, not this time, but he's got to be wary because James Baldwin, who we're riding on board with now, is right on his tail fin, and indeed that rear wing can see a lot of that McLaren Shadow car right now. He sends it down the inside, heading round the next right-hander, and that was superb! The mark of a champion! James Baldwin, absolutely terrific driving indeed. This race has absolutely everything. James Baldwin has turned up like he has on so many occasions throughout this championship, and he's doing McLaren Shadow proud. He's up into P2.
Oh, that is absolutely sensational from James Baldwin. Move of the season contender, that one. He just stuck it up the inside of Bereznay, said, okay, I'm going to go for this, and he almost frightened Bereznay out the way, and he just bullied his way past and up into second place. Excellent driving from the championship leader, who just looks to be stamping his authority further on this series, this season, up into second, and it's hard to see how he's going to be stopped from going for victory, because he's just so quick at the moment as we go and watch James Doherty, and he's on attack of Kaposha just in front in that Yas Heat car. But what a start of this race. The opening 13 laps have been brilliant. Possibly the best action of the series so far, George. Would you agree?
I have to agree with you, Andy. I think this is definitely a candidate for race of the season. I always do like Brazil, and it's for reasons such as this. The corners just vary. Like I said to you before, so you've got some slow corners, you've got some fast-paced corners. For instance, this one, heading out onto Rita Poster, you can literally just send it heading around turn 3. And ideally, that's what you need to do, because if you can get that speed then heading into the straight line, it can really garner you a lot of straight line speed, and that does tend to help you going into turn 4 into Interlagos, as we're now seeing Jarno Opmeer around in the next right-hander. A reasonably sobering race after that incident heading around the initial lap, but he certainly has recovered very, very well despite that. Mercedes looking extremely competent right now. P1 for Bono Huis, Jarno Opmeer in P5. Danny Moreno has just jumped up to P6. I'm not sure if Simon Weigang's had an issue, but Jaroslav Honzik has moved up a place, so Mercedes currently lying in Ps 1, 5 and 6 as Opmeer bails into the pit lane.
Yep, so Opmeer's making that stop then. He's going on to the soft compound tyre, as many drivers find it's easier to run the harder tyre at the start. So Opmeer makes his way into the pit lane. Let's see where he will rejoin. There's so much traffic out there. It's, of course, only a 2.6 mile this racetrack, so finding that clean air is going to be very, very important if he wants to try and pull some kind of undercut. As we go watching here in Gullis, who's still chasing his first point to the season, but given how wild this race has been, let's see if he can do that today. But he's rejoined has Jarno Opmeer just in front of Hayden Gullis, who is of course yet to stop, I believe. So just gives you an idea of how much Hayden Gullis has been involved in the incidents in this race, because I've just seen that Veloce car everywhere on the track so far. And yeah, he's running in 10th position at the moment, with Doherty chasing and Kaposha as well. Oh, who's that?
Absolutely. Wow, wait.
That was Brown.
I think that was Steve Brown. You're absolutely right, Andy. Steve Brown coming off a cropper there, and that allows Gullis up into P9, and that will help the points chase heading through this race. Of course, like you quite rightly say, Hayden Gullis looking for those first points of the season, and certainly if he can carry this into the end of this race, that will certainly help him in the long run. And there's Jaroslav Honzik in P6. Just look at this, so from Yassi, Eamon Murphy in P4, Jaroslav Honzik in P6. I hark back to our earlier race at the Le Mans circuit of Circuit de la Sarthe. Remember, I spoke about Yas Heat and their real consistency. They're bringing it again today. Kaposha is in P12, just outside the points positions. So Yas Heat could be on for a great day as well.
Yep, steady but not spectacular. That's just Yas Heat throughout the season, isn't it? Just gather the points, pick them up, everyone doing a consistent job. It's a team game at the end of the day, and they're just keeping themselves in that championship hunt, and they're doing a great job. But I've got to say, Mercedes are looking very strong today. And, you know, they haven't won a race yet. None of them have won a race yet. And still, they're right at the front of the championship. Neither of the Yas Heats, neither of the Mercedes. And it just goes to show it's a team game here in the squad sprint this year. All the focus is on the teams. We want to see who and which team will come out on top. It looks like James Baldwin's going to be the world champion the way things are going at the minute. But the team championship really is quite the battle. Especially, of course, for James Baldwin with Tom Martinez having a horrible race as Bono Huis comes into the pits for his pit stop as well.
Yeah, and this is going to be so key now for James Baldwin. He really needs to let fly at this delta time now. He now knows that with Huis pitting, he needs to start gunning down some good delta time and give himself an advantage, just to allow the strategy to work out for him as well. The McLaren Shadow car is now leading at a very high rate right now, well clear by approximately 18 to 17 and a half seconds. And so he is very comfortable right now. But as to whether that will hold him his position heading throughout the end of this race, obviously we've still got 5 laps remaining, as we're now witnessing the McLaren Shadow car heading around the next right-hander. Bono Huis in P2. You've also got Jarno Opmeer P3. So Mercedes lying in the 2 podium positions, Ps2 and 3. Bereznay P4. Eamon Murphy, who we're currently seeing on our cameras, in P5. Moreno in behind him. Jaroslav Honzik, the other Yas Heat car, in P7 as well. Great points for Yas Heat at this stage. Weigang and Doherty there in P9. So you have got 3 Alfa Romeo cars in the top 10 as well. And Steve Brown for Quadrant in P10.
Yeah, Steve Brown doing a solid job again. Another driver that's been right in the thick of the action so far, but potential for a World Championship point in there somewhere when everything sorts itself out. Baldwin, by the way, is in the pit lane now, so let's see how that going a lap longer has worked out for him. How has Huis's out lap been? How has Baldwin's in lap been? There he is then. He's in the pits. Let's see when he rejoins. As he makes his way out of the pits now. He's got a shorter run, by the way, so Huis will pass. That's him there passing, but it's the inside of the track for Baldwin, which is a shorter run. But I think Bono Huis is going to be just ahead here as he rejoins the track. It's going to be oh so close, and he is just going to slot in between Huis and Opmeer. And now for James Baldwin, the world's fastest gamer, the chase is on. Can he catch Bono Huis to get another win, a 4th win in 6 races, and strengthen his grip on this championship? This is going to be a titanic battle to the finish, just like this one between Deletraz and Arif. These two who were at the very front, and that seems like an awful long time ago, doesn't it? Are now doing battle down the start-finish straight. We've got Deletraz going the long way round on Arif into that first corner. Remember, Arif put some manners on him at the start. It's now roles reversed, and right round the outside goes Deletraz, and that is a really tidy move from Louis Deletraz, and through he goes ahead of Arif and up into 16th place. Let's see if Arif can respond going down the straight. Look at this, for 16th place in the squad sprint, we're getting some real action here, really good action. Arif going to try and go right round the outside of Louis Deletraz. He's gone wide, I think, and Deletraz is through and up into 16th place. Nice little battle further down the field there, George.
Yeah, no, I think he did try to send it, but just he ran a bit out of track, I think, unfortunately, did our man Arif. Certainly Quadrant got to witness his brilliance in lap 1. It just seems to have gone a little bit sour now, but great to see nonetheless, as we're now witnessing Simon Weigang now trying to move up on Jaroslav Honzik, who's currently in P7. Nothing between these two. Of course, you'd expect Simon Weigang with his very, very potent personality. He's extremely smart on track indeed, and a great racer. And not someone you want to tangle with in a battle. He certainly will take you all the way to the end. He's brilliant. He's got a lot of energy, a lot of endurance about him as well. And can't wait to see what these two are going to lay down upon for us here at Brazil as they now round the next right-hander. Coming down towards the next right yet again. The Heat car still owning that P7 spot. And this is currently looking like, I've said previously, a great day for Heat. Can they land these points positions once again? The Alfa Romeo also doing the same, as we now see Simon Weigang taking the wider route, heading around that right-hander, maybe looking to catch the Heat car off guard as they come round the next left. And this will be heading up towards Junchao. And there you can see the Heat car again going slightly wide. Simon Weigang not able to clip the curb there, but he doesn't need to worry too much, despite maybe losing a little bit of delta time in behind that of Jaroslav Honzik as they rush their way down the straights past the paddock. And once again, they'll be making their way down towards the centre S's. Just witnessing there, Andy, not a huge amount of slipstream speed off that Alfa Romeo on that Heat car. So they've really got to get close in the corners.
Yeah, if you remember back, that Heat was flying past cars at Spa, wasn't it? Oh, what we got here? That's Amin, and Deletraz battling again over 16th and 17th place. It just goes to show in the squad sprint, doesn't matter what position it's for, every place is fought for tooth and nail to the bitter end. And Arif has got himself back ahead of Louis Deletraz, but I think down this straight we are going to see some real good slipstream. And here comes Deletraz going down the outside then of Arif, and is he just going to have that extra straight line speed to whiz past before the braking zone? I don't think so. Arif on the brakes into turn one, into that centre S, having a tighter line, loses traction on the curb, and through goes Deletraz. Oh, and he hits him from behind through Cover de Sol, and now they are going side by side yet again, going down towards the Cerro del Lago. Arif going to go round the outside of Deletraz. Can he make it work? Can he go right round the outside of a racing driver? He's already passed him once today. Can he make it twice? Now side by side, up the hill, into Ferradura. He's on the inside. He's going to do a James Baldwin and get ahead. Oh, Louis Deletraz is coming straight back on the inside. Unbelievable. Through he goes again, does Deletraz. Unbelievable racing through the middle sector. It's usually single file through here, but Deletraz gets it done again and retakes 16th place. Awesome stuff.
Absolutely brilliant, Andy. I have to say, Arava and Deletraz have offered us quite a few moments in this race that have been absolutely spicy, and I got to say, Arav probably having his race of the season, despite where he's at right now in terms of positions. He's offered us so many brilliant moments in this Brazilian race, and I have to say, at Squad Sprint, we take all these matters into account. Of course, I'd imagine that a lot of you at home will be taking this into account when you pick your driver of the day as well, as we're now witnessing Bono Huis, who's currently in P1 in behind as well. James Baldwin in P2, 4/10 of a second. The delta gap as we're now witnessing them pass the paddock yet again. James Baldwin, the world's fastest gamer. This is for the lead. Heading into the centre S is the McLaren Shadow, looking to land the hammer down upon the Mercedes. And once again, Bono Huis able to hang on. But it's what happens on the outset of the centre S's. That's the key point to head out of turn 3, heading down towards the Rita Poster. There you can see the McLaren Shadow. Once again, they go wheel to wheel, heading into the city of Interlagos. Huis shuts the door. Brilliant bit of defending there for the Mercedes, but Baldwin is not done yet. He opts for the switchback, heads down, up towards the hill, round to the Ferradura. Still Huis. Nice bit of magic there from the Mercedes. Holds on as they come round towards the next right-hander, but he should know that James Baldwin, he's an unrelenting character. They round the next left-hander. Andy, what a grandstand finish this will be.
Oh, this is a brilliant finish to a brilliant race here in Squad Sprint. Turkey was brilliant, but this is simply magnificent. From start to finish, from the front of the field to the back of the field, we've had action aplenty, and the battle for the lead is on the final lap, and it's going to go right to the line, it seems. Well, lap 21 or 21, it's the final straight towards the line. Has Bono Huis got enough of an advantage to hold off James Baldwin in the run to the line? It's going to be very, very close, but Bono Huis has got Mercedes' first win of the season. He does it by a whisker over James Baldwin, who charges through to second. It's going to be Jarno Opmeer who sees the flag in third. He'll be disappointed with that, given he started third, and Bereznay will just be behind him in fourth. But wow, what a race that was, George. Incredible.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And I've got to say, Mercedes will be delighted. They've got 3 cars up in the top 10. And Bono Huis there as well. Moreno, Opmeer up there, of course. Absolutely sensational. and they have every right to be delighted. A great result in terms of the Squad Sprint Team Championship, and they're simply delighted.
Let's take a look then at the final results from round number 6 here in Sao Paulo. It's Bono Huis that gets his first win in the season for Mercedes, and Mercedes' first win as well, with that narrow victory over James Baldwin in second, who also collected the fastest lap award as well. Jarno Opmeer completes the podium with a second Mercedes on it. In third, Dani Bereznay in P4 with 12 points, and Eamon Murphy a solid fifth for Yas Heat. Dani Bereznay completes a fine day for Mercedes, a first, a third and a sixth with P6. And it's Jaroslav Honzik who comes home in P7 for Yas Heat. Simon Weigang is 9th, and a big cheer for Hayden Gullis, who finally gets points on the board in 9th, with James Doherty rounding out the top 10. And in the bottom half, Steve Brown, 11th, no points for him today, with Andrea Kaposha in 12th. Tom Martinez, a forgettable day for the Veloce man, getting absolutely nothing and a real dent to his championship hopes. Emily Jones, she was 14th, with Ben Daly in 15th from the pit lane. Louis Deletraz came home 16th in the thick of the action, with he and Arif, who battled all race long. It was Niren that was 18th, Maxime Baiman was 19th, and Ryan Tvetier on debut came home in 20th.
And in the Drivers' Championship, James Baldwin is still your leader after a great race here at Brazil. Superb performance, 109 points, goes to the world's fastest gamer. The Flying Dutchman, Jarno Opmeer, in P2 in the championship, 70 points, joined with Tom Martinez. Superbly done from the Veloce man. He's in P3 for now. Eamon Murphy in P4 as well, 66 points for Yas Heat. Tremendous stuff as well. Bono Huis in P5 in the championship after a great win today. 57 points for that man in the Mercedes. Barry Burman, who was not with us here today, 47 points in P6. Jaroslav Honzik, again for Yas Heat, P7, 40 points. Simon Weigang, P8 for Alfa Romeo, 36 points. Dani Moreno, the other Mercedes driver, 32 points in P9, with Dani Bereznay, P10, 27 points to the offing for that man. And the team's championship is as this, Andy.
Yeah, it's Mercedes leading the way. They had been leading without having won a race, but they are now leading with a race win as well. A really strong day's work for the Mercedes team. 159 points. They're well clear now of McLaren Shadow in second on 125. Yas Heat, those solid performances proving not to be enough anymore. They need to try and get a race win in there. They're 40 points back now on 119. It's Alfa Romeo Racing in P4 on 104. And then it's Veloce Esports on 72. Finally, Hayden Gullis getting a couple of points for Veloce. It's Squadron in P6 with 20 points. And the All-Stars are at the foot of the table on an unlucky number of 13. So, it's that time of the day again. It's all over. We have a look back and decide our driver of the day. George, who are you going for this week?
For me, there's only one man, Andy, and I got to say, I think the chat will be united over this one. Certainly the comment section, I would expect. It's got to go to Arava. After that one lap of magic at the start, the overtakes he made against such talented individuals such as Jarno Opmeer and Louis Deletraz, it was certainly a performance to remember from Arava.
I was going to agree with you, George, and then the results page came up, and then I saw Hayden Gullis getting a couple of points to his name at long last. All the blood, the sweat, the tears, he's finally got some points. So I am going to go for Hayden Gullis, and I think that's the first time this season we've been split on a decision.
I was going to say, is that the first time you've disagreed with me?
Yes, I think it is. Well, there's going to be plenty more disagreements because all you guys have to go to the Veloce Esports Twitter account to cast your vote, and we'll see if you agree with me or agree with George. Of course, let us know in the comment section as well who you're backing for the final few races of the season as the championship battle heads now to Bahrain for round number 7 of the championship. Be sure to join us again next week, the exact same time, 1 PM on Thursday, for what will be plenty more of Veloce Esports Squad Sprint action. Goodbye.